Do you notice a big difference between like female athletes and male athletes? Like, okay, because fighting is a pretty, I don't want to say exaggerated, but it's an interesting thing where, you know, you have men and women kind of differently, but doing the same thing, if you will.
Yeah.
Do you notice a difference in their mentality?
Well, they vary so much individually. That's what's interesting. It's like you'll find even male fighters who are like super laid back, and then you find other ones that are really intense and super emotional. And it's really hard to tell. Like there's Gunnar Nelson is a guy from Iceland. Do you know who he is?
I know who he is. Yeah.
A fantastic jiu-jitsu guy. You cannot get that guy to change his expression. It doesn't change. You can punch him, kick him in the balls. He stays stoic. He's a weird guy.
Yeah.
He's very on one side of it, and then there's like guys like Conor McGregor, who's also his training partner, who's on a completely different side of it. He's screaming and yelling, talking shit to everybody, and you know that's part of his flair.
Right.
You know, they vary so widely, and that's true with girls too. Some girls are brash and outrageous, and they get in other girls' faces and put their knuckles on their nose, and they're at the stare down, and other girls bow and they hug and they take selfies together. It's like everyone has their own sort of approach to it.
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
It is interesting. Fighting intrigues me, in that I think it's interesting that you're trying to be offensive and defensive at the same time, dealing with fear, like all these things happening simultaneously. And I then I look at it one step further with a female, because I don't know. I'm interested to know how if a female can fight from not a non-emotional place, but without her emotion. Like, just like, okay, I'm in my male, I'm in my athlete, and I'm not going to be like, oh, she didn't just kick me in the ear, you know, and like freak out. You know what I mean? Like, because I think about myself and I'd be like, you know, like right. I've only been in one fight my whole life, and the girl hit me in the face. And when I saw my blood, I was like, oh no, she did not just hit me in the face, you know, and then went crazy. But if these girls could be like, because they're so well trained as an athlete, how that can supersede, like, or override actually, like this that feminine impulse of like, you know, a reaction.
That's a masculine impulse too, though. I think it's a human impulse. If a guy punches you in the face, you get furious. It's so hard for people to not get emotional when they get hit.
Yeah,
because you want to get it back.
That's a good point.
It's a very bad way to react in a fight, to fight with emotions, because you expose yourself.
Right.
You leave yourself open for counters. You just you miss your rhythm. You're not as deceptive in your emotions. You're too obvious in your pattern, and somebody times you. You get hit a lot more. Yeah, it's a big problem with fighters. That emotion is a very big problem, and the wanting to break people, like letting them hit you so that you could show them that they can hurt you. That's a masculine thing too. Mm-hmm. Stupid. It's very stupid. Take it on the face on purpose, and then just like, come on, hit me.
That's what you have. Yeah.
And that's a terrible emotion though, because you can get completely knocked unconscious doing that. Happens all the time. It's just the smart thing to do is to fight with correct technique and with a correct strategy, meaning you have an understanding of how to execute best. It's not to just wade in and let bombs fly. It's you have to be very precise in your tactics. You got to be very smart.
I think it's interesting though, those sports where there is that. I mean, listen, versions of it is football. You know, living with Laird, obviously. You know, he always says he appreciates Mother Nature, because it's like you make good decisions, you're rewarded. You make bad decisions, you pay a price. But I think it is very interesting when you have two humans strategically trying to deconstruct one another. The physical chess that goes on, like looking at it from another athlete's point of view. I think it's a unique person that wants to put themselves in that situation. Yeah. You know, it's like, I understand almost like, you know, a surfer and a wave and a rock climber and a mountain. I get that. Like, I'm going to be a part of that. Mm-hmm. But I find it really interesting. And even I'm even more curious about women, like, who say like, yeah, this is going to be my sport.
They vary so widely. Like there's Holly Holm, who's...
she just seems like awfully sweet.
She's so sweet.
She seems like she'd bring you cupcakes or something.
Meanwhile, she'll murder you. She'll kick your fucking head.
I saw that. I mean, listen, I saw that kick. But then it's like, I'm so sorry I made you these after, like chocolate chip cookies. It's like, okay, I'll get it, when I come back from the hospital.
Right.
I don't know. It is interesting when you see girls like that.
Yeah, well, they're all different.
I always want to know, do they have brothers? Like, were they rabble rousing and that their whole time, and they learned to play, and it wasn't personal, and like a little contact was okay.
Maybe. I mean, in Ronda Rousey's case, it was very
her mom,
personal.
Right?
Yeah, her mom was a world judo champion. Her mom was a beast.
She's had an interesting path, I think, Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, I wonder how much she loves the WWE. I always wonder when a person is like an elite athlete at the highest level. A real one. If they still enjoy doing that, because I think she enjoyed it though. I think she was a fan of it before she ever got involved. You mean like the theater of it? Yeah, I think she actually enjoyed pro wrestling. And
they are doing athletic things, even though it's scripted. Obviously, flying off of and into and around.
Oh yeah.
It's athletic, but it's scripted.
Yes, it's not competition. But then again, you can only get knocked unconscious so many times. You can only get fucked up so many times. And she got fucked up 2 fights in a row.
I know.
Really bad. The Holly Holm KO, which was brutal. Ruthless.
That was brutal.
And then Amanda Nunes just punched her face in for 48 seconds. It was horrific.
Yeah.
That was hard to watch.
I don't like to watch, I don't like to watch really big guys punch each other and women.